shocking delay, a baffling twist, and a legendary franchise caught in the crossfire. That is what countless Grand Theft Auto fans exclaimed when Rockstar Games recently confirmed that the long-awaited Grand Theft Auto 6 would not see the light of day until the distant date of the 26th of May, 2026. For many, it felt like an eternity had just been tacked onto their wait. Precious months and years of speculation were suddenly overshadowed by a revised launch window that no one saw coming, stirring up a flurry of questions and concerns across the entire gaming community. Does this spell doom for Grand Theft Auto 5, a title that has dominated the streaming landscape for so many years? Will it be overshadowed by the promise of Grand Theft Auto 6's next-level graphics, gameplay innovations, and rumored new features? Today, we are going to dive deep into this swirling vortex of information and see precisely why, according to none other than Twitch Chief Executive Officer Dan Clancy, the debut of Grand Theft Auto 6 might actually be the strangest release in the history of the series, and how Grand Theft Auto 5 could emerge unscathed. In this episode, expect us to peel back the layers of Rockstar's master plan. Why would they risk alienating fans by announcing such a major delay for their most anticipated title in recent memory? And what exactly is it about Grand Theft Auto 5 that promises to keep it at the top of streaming charts? Even when the new kid on the block shows up in a few years, we will reveal otherwise hidden insights about how roleplay changed the course of this iconic game, and why major developers out there are watching Rockstar's every move. Buckle up, because we are set to embark on a sprawling journey into the heart of the Grand Theft Auto phenomenon. When Dan Clancy, the driving force behind Twitch, hopped onto the Game Business Live show, he dropped a bombshell of an opinion. He admitted that while he is gutted to wait longer for the next epic installment in the crime-simmering world of Grand Theft Auto, he sees an odd dynamic poised to arise when Part 6 finally lands. You might initially think that a brand new mega title like Grand Theft Auto 6 would immediately crush the interest people have in Grand Theft Auto 5. But Clancy suggests that something far more nuanced is likely to happen. After all, Grand Theft Auto 5 has a compelling secret weapon: the unstoppable power of roleplay. Roleplay, or RP, has been a game changer. It took a game that might have started to feel familiar years ago and elevated it into a living, breathing virtual metropolis brimming with custom storylines, eccentric player-made characters, and unpredictable events. If you have ever hopped onto a no-pixel server or peered into the imaginative wonderland of GTA roleplay streams, you will understand exactly why this mode is the star attraction for so many. It provides a canvas where players can try their hand at all manner of cinematic narratives. Over time, it became not just an extension of the sandbox chaos, but almost a brand new phenomenon that overshadowed the original single-player story. Now, here is the catch. Dan Clancy believes that when Rockstar Games finally unveils Grand Theft Auto 6, they may not immediately roll out full mod support or an official roleplay mode for you to jump into. They will likely do what they have historically done: release the game for consoles first, then roll out a polished PC version at a later date. Could that decision effectively split the player base between those who chase the fresh excitement of the new world and those who remain loyal to their hardened communities in Grand Theft Auto 5's roleplay servers? The Twitch Chief Executive Officer certainly thinks so. If Rockstar leaves serious RP integration out of the initial console release, it might prompt some streamers to keep milking the well-established audience of Grand Theft Auto 5 for all it is worth. After all, viewers love the comedic unpredictability and immersive drama that only roleplay can deliver. People do not just watch to see a single person blaze through missions, they watch to see bizarre characters colliding in insane ways. They watch for the mini-dramas sparked by jealous neighbors, cunning criminals, and even star-crossed lovers who only exist in these improvised story arcs. In that sense, Grand Theft Auto 5 is far from having outlived its usefulness. Broadcast personalities remain at the heart of this phenomenon. Some of Twitch's biggest names owe a massive chunk of their success to these elaborate, unscripted storylines that unfold live on stream. Just because a new Grand Theft Auto arrives does not automatically mean those creators will jump ship. They have built entire empires on comedic timing, clever roleplay, and the organic chaos of their beloved 5 communities. We have all seen how a charismatic streamer can hold thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, of viewers in the palm of their hand, especially if the storyline is fresh and the cast of characters is dynamic. Hence the little strange vibe Dan Clancy mentioned. Viewership for Grand Theft Auto 6 will undoubtedly skyrocket at launch. Everyone will want to catch a glimpse of the new city, the dynamic weather, the sleek vehicles, and the surprises that Rockstar has in store. Yet, at the same time, a robust contingent will stick with their favorite roleplay saga in Grand Theft Auto 5. It is not unlike a new chapter in a beloved book series releasing before fans have finished fully savoring the previous storyline. It is not that they lack interest in the new world, but that they would rather not abandon the characters they have grown to love. Does this dynamic raise concerns at Twitch headquarters? Potentially, yes. However, in Dan Clancy's eyes, it is more of an intriguing puzzle than a dire threat. There have been many times in gaming history when a new iteration overshadowed the old, but in this unique case, the community-created experiences in Grand Theft Auto 5 might just buy the older title a new lease on life. According to many rumors swirling around the Rockstar community, the developer might be working on official roleplay modes or expansions for Grand Theft Auto 6. That would be a first for the franchise, bridging the gap between a standard open-world crime game and a place where you can literally become anyone or anything in a living city. But until we know that for sure, the modding community remains the champion of the improvised drama that has made Grand Theft Auto 5 unstoppable. If you think this tension only affects gamers, you would be mistaken. Game publishers around the world eye Rockstar's monumental releases with caution and awe. They time their own big launches to avoid colliding with the unstoppable hype train that a new Grand Theft Auto always commands. It is no secret that some developers headline big releases in windows that skip Rockstar's schedule. Now, with the new date pinned to May in 2026, some see an opportunity to grab the limelight before the behemoth emerges. Others might consider reworking their marketing plans if they discover that the unstoppable giant is about to overshadow everything in its path. But here is the real kicker. Even if Grand Theft Auto 6 mania grips the world, Grand Theft Auto 5 might remain one of the top streaming categories for months or even years to come. Think back to the early days of Grand Theft Auto 5's release, which was primarily a massive success on consoles before PC gamers got their shot. It was only when PC modders gained full access that the roleplay revolution truly kicked off. At first, the game was purely about story mode, multiplayer modes like GTA Online, and the novelty of exploring a sprawling, detail-rich map. Only later did the unstoppable wave of custom servers and creative modders establish a brand new purpose for the title. That pattern might well repeat with Part 6. If you have been enjoying this breakdown so far, here is a friendly suggestion. Feel free to show a little support if you want more deep dives like this. That small gesture truly helps the channel and will let us know that you appreciate these extensive explorations. Thank you for sticking around. Now, diving deeper into the roleplay culture itself, let us unpack why it has become such an addictive staple for players. In many open-world games, you are the hero or anti-hero, and everyone else is just a non-playable character. However, in Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay, every person you meet on the street can be a real-life player. This turns random encounters into comedic standoffs or heartwarming alliances. In a typical session, you could find yourself an unwitting passenger in a stolen taxi, only to discover the driver is a cunning con artist wearing a clown costume, hollering jokes while outrunning the police. This endless parade of the unexpected all but ensures that no one wants to miss a single moment as it unfolds on stream. We also cannot overlook how Grand Theft Auto 5's consistent presence on the streaming charts benefits not just top-tier creators, but also aspiring talents. Newcomers find that diving into roleplay often yields unexpectedly big audiences, especially if they have a knack for improv or comedic banter. This is something nearly impossible to replicate in any other mainstream title. The synergy between longtime fans and wide-eyed newbies in these servers fosters an interconnected web of storyline arcs that often intertwine, producing months of watchable content that fans discuss on forums. This is essentially the lifeblood of roleplay communities, a never-ending tapestry of stories, each unique to the server's population. Now, imagine that Grand Theft Auto 6 emerges without the immediate capacity for such custom storytelling. There might be a raw sense of wonder in exploring the new city, soaking in more realistic physics, or discovering new heist mechanics. But can it match the comedic and dramatic potential that roleplay unleashed in Grand Theft Auto 5? Only time will tell. There is a strong chance that Rockstar is aware of this impetus, but developing an official roleplay toolkit, complete with user-friendly mod support, from the get-go might be a tall task. After all, these things take time to polish, and you know that Rockstar is famed for its relentless pursuit of quality. Meanwhile, the doomsayers and naysayers who claimed Grand Theft Auto 5 would fade into obscurity soon after the next iteration was revealed are starting to realize that they might have jumped the gun. There is a massive difference between a new story-based campaign with cutting-edge technology and an established, well-oiled machine that fosters creative expression day after day. For many streaming fans, as long as their favorite creators stay in Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay, they will remain right there in the chat, providing real-time reactions, inside jokes, and unwavering loyalty. From a broader cultural perspective, we need to consider how much the concept of roleplay resonates with gamers who crave personal connections and comedic unpredictability. Video games are no longer just about finishing the main quest and collecting an arsenal of weapons. They have evolved into hangout spaces where imagination rules, and the audience feels invested in the stories that unfold daily. Grand Theft Auto 5 is simply the perfect platform for that, thanks to its robust engine and the unstoppable creativity of modders. You never know if you will wind up becoming the inadvertent sidekick to a flamboyant nightclub owner, or if you will cross paths with a rogue cop who decides to take the law into his own hands. For Dan Clancy and the Twitch team, this phenomenon is simultaneously a dream and a logistical headache. The dream aspect is easy to spot. Roleplay streams yield massive watch times, energetic chat rooms, and highlight clips that feed the treadmill of viral content. The headache arises when trying to guess how the community will pivot once Part 6 hits the shelves. Will it be split into multiple categories with viewers hopping between the new game's adventure and the still thriving roleplay environment in Part 5? Or will Part 6 eventually overshadow everything once the PC mod communities have had their way with the new engine? Nobody can say for certain, making this time of uncertainty a fascinating carnival of speculation. Rockstar Games surely understands the magnitude of the challenge. They have an almost mythical reputation for creating cinematic experiences that push the boundaries of open-world design, but it takes a lot more than pristine visuals and improved physics to replicate the intangible magic that roleplay fosters. One strategic path might be to ensure that, once Grand Theft Auto 6 eventually hits PC, there is a robust framework in place for custom content creators, perhaps curated or regulated by Rockstar itself. Alternatively, Rockstar could let the community do what it does best, figure out how to manipulate and twist the game in unplanned ways until we have a glorious new breed of roleplay servers that overshadow even the best expansions for Part 5. At the center of it all is the unstoppable momentum of hype. By the time we reach 2026, expect the rumor mill to churn out weekly speculation about the new city, the improved driving mechanics, or the rumored expansions that could come post-launch. Some even believe Rockstar might deliver a storyline that surpasses the comedic trifecta of Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Others whisper that the developer might pivot to an entirely fresh set of protagonists with moral complexities we have never seen before. No matter what, everyone will be talking about it. We also cannot forget that the streamers themselves will play a massive role in shaping the ecosystem. Personalities who have built entire identities around Grand Theft Auto 5 could decide to take the plunge into Part 6 for the sake of novelty, but return to established roleplay servers when they fail to find an equivalent depth of social freedom. Or they might strategize a balanced schedule, devoting half their streaming hours to exploring the new game while reserving the other half for crowd-favorite roleplay content in Part 5. This dual-model approach has worked in the past for certain big franchises, though typically we do not see it on this scale. A crucial point in Dan Clancy's remarks involved that sense of disappointment over the delayed release. No matter how patient fans claim to be, there is always a pang of dismay when they realize they have to wait yet another year or two for the game they have been fantasizing about. Nevertheless, the silver lining is a breathing window for both players and developers. Rival game studios can slip their major releases into that time slot, hoping to snare attention and fill the vacuum that Rockstar's delay has opened. Meanwhile, Rockstar can spend more time refining each facet of Grand Theft Auto 6, ensuring it meets or exceeds the gargantuan hype that has built up around it. Even so, we ask the question, can Grand Theft Auto 6 feasibly compete with the unique user-driven stories that gamers have crafted in the older game? Generally, official expansions and updates do not always capture the same chaotic spontaneity that a freeform roleplay world does. Many fans have expressed an earnest desire for Rockstar to incorporate curated roleplay servers right out of the box. Imagine official in-game tools for setting up custom story arcs, writing dialogue scripts, or even forging entire neighborhoods with special rules. That kind of integrated approach might unify the new game's community under a single official platform, preventing the branching or fracturing that might otherwise occur. But speculation is all we have at this point. Until Rockstar breaks its silence, we remain glued to the statements of those in the know, like Dan Clancy. True, Clancy might not be inside Rockstar's meeting rooms, but the vantage point of Twitch's chief executive officer is extremely telling. Twitch is at the front line of how players and audiences interact. If the head of that ecosystem sees that Grand Theft Auto 6's launch might be strange, then you can bet that the streaming landscape will be subjected to a shift we have never quite witnessed before. On the other hand, fans of Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay can rejoice. Their beloved piece of digital real estate is not going anywhere. In fact, the delay might be a blessing in disguise. More time for server administrators to refine content, more chance for creative modders to push boundaries, and more opportunities for novices to dive into the comedic, shocking, or downright chaotic world that has become the hallmark of roleplay. We might see brand new story arcs flourish, drawing in even bigger crowds who want to see the outrageous predicaments that only roleplay can spawn. You have likely picked up on the connection between the delayed release and a potential surge in upcoming roleplay content. If the new game is removed from immediate purchase, all that hype will have to redirect somewhere. That somewhere is probably going to be the same servers that are already host to police chases, bungled heists, heartwarming romances, and quirky misfits galore. If you are someone who loves that sense of community-driven gameplay, now might be the perfect time to marvel at the wild and unpredictable world of Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay. And if you are enjoying the deeper perspective we are offering here, do not forget that your support fuels more investigative content like this. Your participation is genuinely appreciated. The ultimate outcome hinges on one question above all else. How will Rockstar integrate modding and roleplay into Grand Theft Auto 6, if at all? If they choose to adopt a hands-off posture and simply let players work their magic, the timeline for robust custom servers might stretch months or even years from the console release date. That would allow Grand Theft Auto 5 roleplay to retain its spotlight for the foreseeable future. Alternatively, if they implement supportive frameworks from day one, we might see a wave of mass migration as soon as the new game hits PC, lured by fresh visuals and novel features. Either way, at least for the first few months, the strangeness that Dan Clancy anticipates is virtually guaranteed. From a historical standpoint, plenty of games have tried balancing a new release with the continued success of an older title. Some have succeeded by catering to different niches, while others have ended up cannibalizing their own player base. Rockstar's situation is unique, though, because Grand Theft Auto 5 ended up transcending its original concept through the unstoppable wave of roleplay. The developers themselves might not have predicted that the game would morph into a stage where thousands of people gather to create unscripted soap operas. That evolving dynamic sets the stage for a possible synergy, rather than competition, between Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto 6. It is not hard to imagine that even after Grand Theft Auto 6 is well established, there may be small but loyal enclaves that continue to prefer the older roleplay environment. Nostalgia, friendships, and the established story arcs might prove too valuable to abandon. Meanwhile, new players, hungry for the next big thing, will dive headfirst into Part 6, enthralled by the technological leaps and the fresh narrative. In the end, it might not be a battle at all, but a tapestry of multiple Grand Theft Auto experiences that can coexist on streaming platforms, each with their own brand of mayhem and creativity. So, if you are among those worrying that Grand Theft Auto 5 will fade away the moment the next installment sees the light of day, let Dan Clancy's words offer some reassurance. The future is not as black and white as it might seem. In fact, we could be headed for the most vibrant era of creative overlap yet, with streamers and players weaving from the older game's comedic havoc into the new game's uncharted territory. And all the while, the rest of us get to tune in and watch the drama, one crazy scene at a time. Thank you for joining us today on this deep dive into Rockstar Games' timeline, the unstoppable might of roleplay, and how the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6 might reshape the streaming landscape. The story is far from over. In fact, it has barely begun. Keep your eyes peeled for more news and rumors in the lead up to that fateful release day in 2026, because the next chapter of this franchise could make gaming history all over again.